Hey everyone, my name is Martin, and I'd like to welcome you back to Over a Pike. Now this is our final review for December of 2019. Yay! Yay! I want to thank all of you for coming along with this ride with me. It's been so much fun. Today we've got a review of Savinelli's Giubileo Giubileo d'Oro. This blend. This is what we're reviewing today. This one. A little bit about this review from tobaccoreviews.com. A zesty blend of Virginias from the U.S. and Brazil, mixed with creamy Cyprian Latakia and cold pressed for a light, sophisticated all-day English mixture. Simple enough. Now, we're fortunate to have an older perspective by Gentleman Zombie, who in 2016 stated, "The Latakia is mildly smoky with a fairly strong note of wood. It has a nice smoothness with only a very mild acrid note. The Virginias lend sweetness and a little spice, and like most Latakia Virginia blends, very little flavor-wise. The overall flavor is of a mildly sweet and somewhat spicy Latakia. It's pretty one-dimensional, but that's okay with me. I've always had an affinity for Latakia Virginia blends, smokes, and this is a pretty good one. Now, are we going to discount our most recent opinion, which comes from DK, who recently commented in late 2019 that mostly black, but with some light specks. These flakes are supremely pliable and wet, but with some drying and a little dexterity, they can be folded and stuffed, which is how I preferred it. Mostly Latakia scent in the tin nose. Sasquatch really nailed this one, in my opinion. I never read reviews before I write mine, but I cheated and read his before I posted this. Didn't make any changes, which worked fine, because his review almost mirrors mine. So go read his and skip this one. Lots of wood flavor initially, which made me wonder the cause, as there are no Orientals or Burleys in here, which I usually associate with wood. Now, were I a real reviewer, I could discern the oak, cedar, and hickory woods from the, butternut and cherry wood. Right. Drying this out thoroughly and removing that flavor-reducing moisture diminishes the woody quality somewhat, and the blend takes on a more of a smoky, zesty, savory character. Now, the Latakia leads by a small margin, but while it is flavorful, it isn't overly strong, except in the room note. Now, the Virginias are kind of nondescript on their own, and no particular flavors really jump out. This is just a worthy mix of Virginia and Latakia that won't bonk you over the head with complexity or nicotine, and won't overwhelm you with the subtleties. Once dried, how it starts is pretty much how it ends, with the exception of it getting a bit more potent. Now, pushing this one doesn't seem to alter it much either, which is good. If you appreciate top to bottom seamlessness and a hefty but not brutish flavor, and you don't want to taste nuts, toast, bread, figs, and the usual assortment of reviewer objectives, try this one out. And speak of the devil himself, we cannot get done with this review without mentioning Sasquatch, who was delighted in his review and said, "Okay, I'm first." This only goes to show what cowards and sheep pipe smokers are. No one has tried this blend. What would happen if I bought a 10? What could be inside? I'm so scared. I'll tell you what's inside. Flakes. Yep, flakes. Those perfect little gum stick flakes, about 1.5 millimeters thick, that you know who makes. Now, these are dark and delicious. Moisture in the tin is fine. You can dry it a bit if you like. It rubs easily under the match. My first impression is wood, an interesting backbone for what is theoretically a Virginia Latakia blend. The Latakia is flavorful, but of a muted sort. Nothing sharp in the nose at all. The Virginias are sweet and pretty zesty. Now, by halfway through, this is chugging along, offering no complicated flavors, but a nice balance of sweet, zesty, and smoky leaves. Not the most exciting set of flavors in the world, and a little one-dimensional, if you compare it to an Oriental Fest medium English like King Charles, or something of that ilk. But tasty and easy to get along with. Not much for nicotine. It's there, but not unfriendly. I think in a few years it will calm down some and be sublime. Fresh, it's good, and there are only a few blends like it on the market. If you like them, this is worth a try. Not as dirty, heavy as Commonwealth, and not as sweetened as McClelland offerings in this vein of Anniversary of Frogmorton. Thanks, Sasquatch. Now, the brand of this blend is obviously Savinelli. It's blended by the Scandinavian Tobacco Group, manufactured by McBaron. This blend type is a Virginia Latakia blend. The contents resemble such. The cut is a flake. Now, the packaging that I have came in a 50-gram vacuum-sealed tin, and the tin note that I was getting was a light amount of smokiness, maybe a little bit of breadiness from the matured Virginia, and actually some grass, but not in the likes of fresh cut grass, but more of a compost type grass, something where it's actually fermenting. The pre-light, it's pretty sweet and mild with a light smokiness, nothing to rave home about. The moisture, I'd probably give it about 15 minutes or so after you break it up, and pack your bowl, maybe pack it beforehand and leave it for 15 minutes. You're good to go. The strength is mild to medium. The taste is medium. I couldn't detect any flavoring. The room note is tolerable at best, but you're going to have to ask your better half about that one. Well, that's going to wrap up this tobacco review. I appreciate you stopping by, having a pleasant smoke with me. I hope you enjoyed this review. Maybe you got something out of it. Maybe you were entertained. Hopefully you've also had a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday, Happy Hanukkah, whatever your holiday is. Hopefully you spent time with family and friends and enjoyed yourself. But until next time, this is Martin from Over a Pipe, leaving you with some final words. Go grab you a tin of this. Stick it in your pipe and smoke it. See you later. Giubileo de oro. Giubileo de oro.